Thank you.
Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. We've had a nice pump from Bitcoin and the altcoins this week. Let's go to the charts. Okay, folks should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
All right, thank you. And looks like we are in danger of breaking this 24.5 resistance we've had since the summer. I marked this down around August. We hit it multiple times, but couldn't break through and couldn't get a close at 25 or above. So at the moment, we're 24,685. We did break through 25 yesterday, but we couldn't hold it, closed below. Actually took a tumble later in the day, closed around 24.3, and we are breaking above that price point now. And we've got about another hour before the day closes. See if we can keep that green candle above 24.5, and maybe that'll take us through 25 and on to the next resistance, which most people are saying is around 28 or so. On Ethereum, we're above the halfway point in the range, breaking through 1700. And let's see, it's had trouble breaking and holding above 1700, but we're got potential, I'd say 50-50 to do that today. Any comments, questions, theories on the market overall? Why we've been pumping up? I mean, it's been kind of strange. We've had crusty old coins like Dusk and there's another one, Waves, and look at Filecoin, EOS. I mean, these are older projects. Dot's finally, I've been in a Dot trade since the summer. I'm in danger of getting out of it. So it's kind of interesting on how some of these older projects have been pumping. Bluzell, these are all 3-4 years old or older. Anyway, it just seems kind of random to me.
Well, that is a good question. Why is it pumping up? I mean, there doesn't seem to be enough good news to be driving all this.
I was discussing this with Troy, and it was sort of like the data came out, but when you actually drilled down into the data a bit more, there was and took out some of the one-offs and the anomalies and so on, that the real data was actually a lot stronger, a lot better result than the initial figure.
Economic data, like the CPI and things like that?
Yeah. Apparently there was a whole lot of it. There's a whole lot of anomalies that they take out. Like they just, so when they first look at it, the result was what we saw. But then when you drill it down into the information a bit more, you can take out certain things that are just one-offs, then the overall picture is a lot brighter.
Okay.
So that's a possibility.
Yeah.
There also might be some optimism around the Golden Cross situation. Are you familiar with that?
Well, I've heard of a Golden Cross and a Death Cross discussed for Bitcoin.
Well, so apparently the Golden Cross is when the short-term moving average, which is usually the 50-day, crosses above the 200-day moving average. So it's only happened 5 times within the trackable history, I think, within let's say the crypto Bitcoin world, and 4 out of 5 times after that crossed, which is kind of at the verge of right now, that it's gone up as much as 1,800%. 4 out of 5 times, with the exception of 2020, when the whole world basically crashed.
Yeah.
So you can't actually count 2020, because we had the pandemic. So it's not a normal trackable year.
Yeah, I could throw that up on a chart and we could look at it, but I don't want to. I don't like moving averages that much. I think they get in the way, but a lot of traders use them. Probably more do than don't. So maybe I'm not the best source
But
on
that could explain why there's an increase in activity, and
Sure.
that's the psychological element of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Patrick on here? He likes to talk about self-fulfilling prophecies in trading. It's like, oh, it's doing that, so we have to do this. And then you sort of, because the chart says something, you feel compelled to do it, and then other traders, do as well. And
Well, that's it. It's momentum based, and
yeah. Doesn't matter really why it happens necessarily, just that it happens, and then we can cash in on it if we're alert
right.
and ready for it. All right. Well, anything else about the market overall before we look at the altcoin alert, see if we can find something to trade tonight and for the weekend?
Well, I guess ETH, if you wanted to look at that, that did especially well also this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, we looked at it. It was down around 1,500 on Tuesday. And yeah, it's made a really big move up to 1745 yesterday, dipped a little bit today. But yeah, Robert's right. We had a 10-12% move on Ethereum this week. So good stuff. All right, well, let's get over to Altcoin Alert, look at some options for trading this weekend. Okay, I'm on my Altcoin Alert. I have the Altcoin radar up, so I have all the information. Gonna click on AA score, and we've got ICP. I've got that chart up. I haven't looked at STMX before. I think I'm gonna look at this one first. Gonna create another window. Look up STMX. Not sure where that trades. Okay, it's on Binance, BitGet, Bybit, and you can trade leverage on Bybit on it, so that's good to know. Okay, in the 5 minutes, dead cat bounce. Yeah, one. That's a one dip, no 1, 2, 3 dip here, just V-shaped. So we're too late for that one. It's had pretty good support. It's hit multiple times right here around 0.0072, give or take. So this area here could be a good place for a price alert. But as you know, I prefer indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart. So let's go over there and see what we've got. I have made a change on my chart. I kicked off the TDFI, Trend Direction Force Index, or indicator, and I've added this Impulse MACD. I saw a video about this a couple days ago, and it intrigued me, so I added it as one of my confirmation indicators on this chart.
CJ, I'm glad you added that, because I saw that video and it intrigued me too. I added it, but I haven't played with it yet.
I actually traded off this as my main source of info yesterday and did really well. But yesterday was a banger day, so the better test of this is when things are choppier or less violent than they were yesterday. So I look forward to testing this some more next week. But regardless, I can still use it for confirmation with some of the other approaches I've used that I have more experience and that I've talked about on this Zoom call before. So, all right, we're on the 15-minute. Let's start with the super trend. And as you know, I've cut this in half, for the ATR period from 10 to 5. You guys can play around with that as you see fit. This has gone mostly sideways, so this buy here, but the moves are they look small, but they're actually kind of large. At least that one was. Yeah, this one's about 1.5%, not bad. But you got to remember, when the AA score kicks in, it's saying this one's, this coin's usually it's either pumping or it's been beaten down. It's due for a recovery. So this one might be the latter. SuperTrend didn't look that good. Let's look at divergence. And pretty solid. The short divergence looks okay. At least back here on Thursday. And 2.5%. Yeah, some of these were pretty good. This one, no. This one, not so good. 1.5%, not bad if you're on leverage. And actually, even as a spot trade, if you pile up 1-2% wins, you can grow your balance pretty quickly. So divergence looks okay on this one. I suspect we're going to find better options than this. And then my stochastic RSI. So I'm looking for the RSI to drop below 30 and then come back up. This one broke briefly above the 30 and then dropped again, then came back up. So this entry would have been pretty good. Yeah, 4% there. That entry is not good. I was marking these last week. So that one took a while. This one, yeah, he'd probably still be in that one. So that one didn't do very well. This one, not bad. And this one, sideways chop. This one just crossed, about 45 minutes ago. So you'd be in profit on that one a little bit, but you're taking that one. I'm not really loving this. So at least not yet. Okay, any questions on STMX? Let's go to the other one, ICP. I was actually looking at this morning. So I've got that one up here.
Now, I don't care.
What now is that? Somebody on the phone? All right, ICP, 5-minute chart. Looks kind of squeezy here. But 4%, not bad. Room to move. Pretty big move today already. Got support here, about 724. And again, down here at 660. Pretty big move. Some medium support here at about 707. So that's where you could go with price alerts. On the 15-minute chart. Let's see, SuperTrend. Obviously, this buy did really well. So all these buys would have been productive eventually. So a dip there, and then pretty big moves.
Touch that way.
Correcting.
Four.
All right. There we go. Okay, guys, please mute yourself if you're not gonna be talking. So you should actually mute yourself first and then unmute to talk. All right, so the super trend looks pretty good on the buy side. This one's been pumping lately, so that might be the way to go. And it's an easy alert to set. Right click, add an alert, choose your direction. It's already on buy. You can go with sell or direction change, which is how I usually do it. Go long or short, depending on what the circumstances are. And then you can use your stochastic RSI for confirmation. Let's say on this buy signal, it's trending up. The MACD is starting to trend up. The histogram's forming a little bit after. MACD is generally slower than stochastic RSI, which is more sensitive. So you may want to wait for both or at least one of them to confirm the super trend signal and then go from there. So that's one approach. On divergence, trying to catch the dips. All these bullish divergences did really well. Hit and miss on the bearish. This last one did okay. This is from this morning though. Yeah, it dropped 4%. So this one might be starting to come down. I've had success shorting this in the past, so I'm going to set this one up. AA score purchase. Once per bar close, that's important. Negative divergence. This is going to be my short for the evening. It's a little risky because it had such a big pump today, but lots of times they have big pumps and then at least medium-sized drops. I want to cash in on that. But again, with these, with shorts, I'm using stop losses. So keep that in mind. On longs, with the market generally trending up, I've been ladder buying on the longs. Okay. So the stochastic RSI on the longs. Let's look at those. Okay, we have a cross here. That was eventually profitable. Actually, all these, since we had such a big move today, all these are going to be eventually profitable. So if you want to use the stochastic RSI as an entry signal, how I do it is I like to right click on it, click on add an alert. K line is the blue line crossing up in the 20 values, generally the oversold area. So when it's oversold, generally it's due for a comeback, but sometimes it just keeps dropping. So once per bar close, and use your information source for your name or strategy. That's another way to do it. All right. Any questions on ICP? Okay, so that's 2 AA scores. The other sort I like to use is the long-term sentiment sort, which I match up with the Elder Impulse Daily. Long-term sentiment is just like it sounds, what people are feeling, what they're talking about online, on Twitter. And then the Elder Impulse is a technical indicator. You can read those descriptions there. Okay, so I'll click here, long-term sentiment. I'm looking for bullish and very bullish. And if I have that and a match on the Elder Impulse Daily, I'm going to check that out further. We got Filecoin. I had this looks similar to this morning, and this is one I've traded today. So let's look at File. It's had a big move similar to the ICP coin we just looked at. On the 5-minute chart, we're at the top of the Bollinger Band. Again, not necessarily the best place for entry, but good percentage between the Bollinger Bands. So we've got room to move. On a price alert, got some nice support here, right about 733. And some secondary support down here at 711. And again, down here at about 678. On the 15-minute chart with the indicators, SuperTrend looks like it's done well on the buy side, because we would expect that with a big move like this. So this was the move before the move, about 8%. 37%, wow. On the sell side, I think that's going to be a loss. Yeah, this one did pretty well from yesterday. Yeah, I caught this on a different coin yesterday, did pretty well with it.
CJ,
Yeah,
how soon after you see either the sell or buy alert does it actually show up? I mean, how close is that to when it's in real time?
if you do the alerts like I shared, the once per bar close, it'll go off, the sell will show, and then this candle will start to form. So this candle will be over, the sell signal will be here, and this candle will start to form.
Okay, great, got it.
Yeah. Okay, let's look at divergence. Bullish obviously did well. This one took a little while from Thursday night. Then, that afternoon it did really well. And this is newer from this afternoon. And, went up 3.5% before dipping a little bit. So I don't see a confirmation with my non-repaint version. I have two divergence indicators because this one repaints. I don't usually use repainting indicators, but I like this one because it's alert friendly. And some of the repainting actually happens in worse situations. So yeah, to check for that kind of thing. Yeah, I haven't gone over this in a while. And click your bar replay here. Click where you want to start on the chart. Start here. And I've, the default is 1x. I put it up to 10x. I want it to go faster. And then I'm going to click it. We're going to click play, and you'll see how some of these move. See how that one flashed and then went away. Yeah, that's repainting. So you don't ever want to rely only on a repainting indicator. So you can use it, and they still have some value, especially if they're alert friendly like this one is. But that's why I like to match it up with this one here that does not repaint. Okay. None of these shorts did well at all. So this is not one I would want to short. But again, files had a huge move, so that doesn't surprise me. What you might want to do is go for a divergence on the bullish side on this one. See if that's a long-term sentiment. See if that trend continues. But I'm skeptical such a thing would happen over the weekend, but I could be wrong. I'll stick with my short on ICP. All right, so that's divergence. And on the stochastic RSI, yeah, all these are, since we had such a big move, all these are going to be profitable at some point. So even the ones back here, because that move hit here, and two big moves on Filecoin. So this one's been really good. Okay, any questions on this setup? Okay, let's look at, been using this one a little bit lately, 24-hour change. You see Filecoin had the 35%. I've been looking at, say 8 to 10 to 12% coins that are moving, but still might have some room. So an example of that would be, would usually be Polkadot. It was 14.5. It's been such a stinker the past year that we're reluctant to trust it. But Kasama, kind of the same way. EOS, VET I kind of like. Let's look at that. Okay, on the 5-minute, get that 12% move. Got some support right here that we're pretty close to, 0.27 cents or 2.7 cents. And between that and about, well, yeah, right about 2.7. So that would be one place for a price alert. Down here, another gathering of support, around 2.5 cents. On our 15-minute, SuperTrend looks pretty good. Obviously, the buys are doing well. That sell got almost 2%. You know, it looks mostly sideways. Yeah, that one did well yesterday. This one did not. And the buys all did well eventually. This one did. Yeah, you probably would have, had you not gotten out here around 2%, taking a dip down here about 5%. If you're on leverage, you might have to rebuy again and then, you know, ride it back up. If you're spot trading, you wouldn't necessarily, you could do a ladder buy at 5% even on a spot trade, and then you catch this back up. You know, your first position breaks even, makes a small profit, and your second one does really well. So, you know, 6-7%. Okay, so that's SuperTrend on Divergence. Interesting. Some of these did really well. Yeah, this one did. You know, 2.5%. This one did better than that. Over 5%. These probably got stopped out. Then this one did well. Someone's talking again.
So if you get a master's or a PhD, you can learn how to study. And so you're taught some analytical skills.
Okay. Where was I? Okay, so this divergence, probably you would have stopped out at some point, but this one did really well. Yeah, 3.5. So, you know, shorting pumping coins though is a bit precarious, so keep that in mind. On the stochastic, let's look at, most of these did pretty well. This one here did not. If you took that one, yeah, you would have endured this dip, and then before you profited, but all the other crosses look good on the RSI. So, okay, any questions on VET? All right, I'll do one more sort, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. See, that was a 24-hour change. Let's look at the 1-hour projected range. This is interesting. LINA is up 4.5%. Upper value is 9.3, lower value is 3.6, 288 in the middle. So that one's trending pretty well up. You know, if I get a value of like 3% or higher in here, that's usually intriguing to me. That's almost 3%. That's how I was using this during the bull market of, late 20, early 21 to mid 21. I was using this with some frequency then, but I haven't used it much in the past year. If the market keeps pumping like it has, it definitely might put that back in the rotation. Since we've had a nice move up this week, let's go ahead and check it out. LINA. Okay, it's on Binance, KuCoin. All right, it does have a leverage contract on Bybit. Let's go to the Binance chart. Whoa. Interesting. Super range trading. A little deceptive. Is not much percentage-wise between these. Yeah, these Bollinger Bands look huge, but there's only 2.5% between them.
Impulse MACD, it is showing that range.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of flatlining here, but yeah, it was late on this move.
Yeah.
I haven't used this enough to really talk intelligently about it, so we'll see. Where was I? All right, 5 minute. Yeah, you just might want to put a price alert right around here between 788 and 796, and just trade in between until it breaks. That would be one way to do it. Kind of curious what the super trend showing us. Yeah, this is where I would use the direction change option. Let's start here. So that buy goes up 1.7, the sell goes down, 4%. This goes up. I don't know if you'd be stopped down or not. Probably eventually be profitable on this one, 2%. That sell probably would have been a loss. The buy you wouldn't have taken because you'd be in this one. I'm not sure about that sell, but some of these look pretty good. So for your alert on SuperTrend, this is where, if you're experienced and you like to trade both directions like I do, SuperTrend direction change is the one I like for that. Okay. Divergence. Should be a lot of divergence on this. Yeah, what if this divergence has a... Yeah, you have to do two if you want to do what I just showed you. You have to set an alert for negative and one for positive if you want to trade both directions. That one did well. But how well did it really do? Let's go to the replay. Feel like an NFL referee. Yeah, there's a pretty big repaint there. It keeps scooting over. Not necessarily a deal breaker, but again, keep that in mind when you're using this indicator. Okay. So yeah, some of these did well, some did not. Say about 50-50. It might just be easier to use the super trend. And then on stochastic, on the long side, that cross did well eventually. This one did well. Get the cross here, that did well. I think on the long side, the RSI is doing pretty well here. That one had a small profit. And then this is the last cross here. Yeah, same thing after, after a dip. Yeah, less than 1%, not so good on that one. I think each option showed, more profits than losses using a reasonable stop loss. So, any questions on LINA? Okay, we're at about 35, 40 minutes, so could be a good place to stop. Any questions overall before I wrap up the Altcoin Alert Zoom?
Next week, CG, maybe you can talk a little bit more about the Impulse MACD.
I probably will give that about a month before I talk more in detail about it. But if I have some really good results with it, I'll definitely talk some more about it in detail. If you're interested in that one, email me and I'll send you the video that I looked at.
All right.
And then if you want to tinker with it too, using those settings. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but the author of the video made changes more to the style than the actual inputs. So.
Well, I noticed, like I was looking at an FTM. I've been trading FTM today up and down a couple times.
Nice.
And I put that indicator on there, and I've seen blue, I'm seeing green, I'm seeing orange lines, blue lines, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what all this means.
Yeah, the video I watched, excuse me, narrows that down some and makes it easier to.
All right,
to
I'll look
interpret,
at it. I'll send you an email. Thanks.
All right. And most of you guys are on my email list. If you're not, my email is cryptocj13@gmail.com. All right, well, I will wrap it up here. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help support the channel. If you're a Carbon member, please stick around. We'll do that Zoom next. The rest of you, have a good weekend.